Good morning, you guys. It's your girl Melanie Method. Welcome back to the Melanie Method Show. Um, I have a lot to say. First, I was just going to lay low. You know what I mean? Not take a couple of days off and really, because I've been handling a lot of business in between, like making videos about my feelings in regard to everything I'm seeing within the media, in relation to President Trump, as well as what is she, Vice President? Vice President Kamala Harris, and we got Tim Walz, and then we have JD Vance. Okay, so it's going to be a chew session first and foremost. I do have some edibles. I have other stuff, but I won't go into that because that's not what this channel is going to be about anymore. Um, and it is going to be a chew session. Why do I always get every time I get on here? It's really horrible. My dad, I swear to God, he is such. Oh my God, he always harasses me, even from the dead. I swear, as if he just like just slur, bitch, slur. But I'm just going to take one of these. It's called Choice. Okay, you guys can't see that. Now you can, because I have that background thing, majiggy going on. I don't like this background. Let me change it. I have so much to say, but I don't want to take forever saying it. So hold on one second, y'all. I'm just like, man, oh man, this is cool. I'll rock with this for tonight because it's morning time, nighttime. Okay, so I promised myself I was just going to rewatch the debate because I was out and about at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when it launched, when it was, you know what I mean, when it started. And I told my daughter, I was like, let's turn this music off. I'm just going to put it on in the car, even though we can't really focus on with their facial expressions and everything. I was like, at least we'll be able to hear what's being said. So this whole situation, this whole event with this election, the various bias, I want to say on both sides, but I can't really because I'm a fair person. There's some bias on the red side, on the Republican side, but it's all factual. That's the problem. I'm having a hard time um like crossing them out on any of their findings. Everything that they've been determining in regard to Kamala Harris can be substantiated. So it's really limited bias on this on the red side, and it's but what the Democrats are doing, they're demolishing this whole election with racism. I never in my life. It's so funny how you could be really ignorant to politics all these years, and you just focus on self rather than to focus on what's happening around you. And you should never limit yourself to knowledge. So I feel I've been very ignorant by limiting myself to like more things related to politics because politics and economics greatly affect us. Period. And it's just like a lot of people do not take that seriously until they're in a really bad recession or in a bad position. That, like, for example, like with the whole shoreman strike, going on strike today, and that's the event that has not happened since 1977. That's going to massively impact us. And again, this all falls back on the Biden Harris administration. They hiked inflation up so badly by allowing all of those migrants come over here for catering to their needs, their housing, their medical, their education, food. They cater to all of these different entities out of the country, sending people billions of dollars over there for different supplies when we could just we can remaster and bring a lot of manufacturing companies and plants and things back to the US, which saves us a lot of money because now we can manufacture and distribute the oil. We can do the things on our own. And if she were to ban fracking, do you know what situation we will really be in? We'll be completely reliant on China for oil and different trades from different countries. This is a communist setup, and it's going to really hurt us if this lady gets in this office. That's all I'm saying. I wish I would have educated myself on all of this years ago, but better late than never. And I did learn a lot within only like 30 days. This is everything I've learned, you guys, like in 4 weeks. Because I'm trying to think when I started diving into this election, it was probably August, to be fair. I think it was August. Yes, it was. And because me and my manager kept going back and forth about, but I kept knowing in my gut, I was like, this time I believe Trump is really, I should really believe him. I should believe him the whole time, even without me looking and uh determining all the findings that people were presenting in different commentary videos, different local news, you know what I mean? So things like that. But once I started supporting everything he was saying, once I went back to his 1980s videos, when he was discussing how to benefit this country by different methods of saving us billions, millions and billions of dollars per year. It hurt me, and it baffles me at the same time as how much disrespect that he's getting in exchange for all of his contributions. It's really hurtful. If you were to stop being ignorant, for those that are being ignorant, you really focus on how this man is being treated. He's being crucified, basically. And there's no one supporting him. He's all on his own because they're trying to mute all of the Republican Party. They're trying to twist everything around on the Republicans that they are actually trying to do to us. All of the racism, all of that, that's all stemming from them. They're the only people talking about race. They're the only people making racial claims. All of that. Just because he stated they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, there was speculation from the media and from residents in Springfield. So he was going off of what the people were saying, which is a good thing as a leader, because you always really want to listen to the people. You want to care about the citizen first. So why in God's name would we not want to elect somebody like him that cares about what the people has to say first? In no way was he solidly saying that he had 100% concrete evidence that they were eating the cats and dogs. He was trying to say this is what the people are saying. And why would they lie? And that's what he should have stated. He should have said there was different meetings within the local city council in Springfield where the residents are very unhappy. You can tell that they're completely emotionally moved in a negative light by what's happening, about a massive influx so rapidly of third world country migrants. That would upset any community, regardless of what race. They could be orange, they could be purple. If you have too many people come into your neighborhood and they live a different way than which you live, you're going to see a problem. When they're now competing with us for jobs and for housing, you're going to see a problem. This is common sense. This is elementary economics. This whole election has been elementary grade. And it's really hurting me so bad how so many American citizens are not catching up to how easy this is. And like I told my daughter after the debate, I said, when it really boils down to it, there shouldn't even be a race anymore. There shouldn't be no comparison. It's really a degradation. It's really disrespectful to compare Kamala Harris and Walz as well as Biden to President Trump. You want to know why? Because they showed us within 3.5 years what Walz didn't. I'm talking about the people that are actually in, which was Biden and Kamala, who was delegated to a lot of different important things in negotiations in the border. Okay, but they showed us in 3.5 years that they couldn't even do a quarter of what this man had done for this economy and for our country as a whole. Okay, this man had zero wars. He had zero wars all over. He would negotiate it really well with other countries so there wouldn't be wars over in that. He didn't just keep dishing out our money to different countries. Okay, he had inflation down. I think they said the 1.4 or 1.7%. So you know how amazing that is. And considering that he overcame a whole pandemic, where is the gratefulness? That's what I want to know. Where's the gratefulness? You know that we haven't had a president like that since I was alive. We haven't anyway. And I'm 42 years old. And I've never seen a president with all of the successful accomplishments as this man. And no, I'm not kissing his ass for ignorant Black people that's out there, ignorant white people, whoever's out there that's ignorant. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm from the hood. I taught myself this. It makes sense. It's all there right in front of you. Read into it. Stop being hateful. Stop being nasty. Read into what he has done compared to what her and Biden has done. Be fair about it. Don't be nasty. Don't be discriminatory like them Democrats want you to be. They're controlling you, Black people. They're controlling you, over effective and over emotional liberals, the alphabet soup clan. They are controlling you, Hispanics, the ones that are going for it. Okay, do not let somebody that changes their accent as quick as they would change their panties, okay, into that office. She has no knowledge of anything when you interview her and you ask her direct questions. How is that an effective leader? And you make yourself look ignorant and stupid to even insinuate such. Really, to support her, you're basically saying you're stupid. You're basically saying you're stupid or you're a freak because all of her policies are really extremely liberal or far out to where liberals ain't even all the way agreeing with it. The whole sex change thing, that's insane because that should not be a responsibility of the taxpaying dollars. I can see if she were to say like, okay, well, I'm going to see about getting a bill passed so that way some of her service can be implemented within a health plan. I can see something like that. Okay, but that should only be for citizens first. Again, here we are catering to migrants and immigrants. I don't know what it is with her and these migrants and immigrants. I would say it's because her mother was Indian, but I don't believe that was her mother. I really don't. I'm starting to believe that Iris lady, the Viola Iris, the one that Candace Owens, you can check her channel now included in the video, the one that she uncovered. I believe that was either her grandmother or her mother, but I believe that Indian woman has nothing to do with her. The Indian woman might be her sister's mother only. In some kind of way, she had a relationship with the Indian woman because the father might have been messing with the Indian woman and the other lady. That's what I'm thinking happened based on what Candace is providing. We don't have solid proof. And like she said, she wants to get more evidence so that way she can solidify her claim so that she won't look like a basket case. And I definitely understand her. Shout out to Candace Owens I know a lot of people are real like, they criticize her. They call her white supremacist and all this. All that. Everybody has their own opinion. I can see certain little points about things that she says I'm not all the way in agreement with. However, like 90 to 95% of everything she says makes sense to me. And there's probably the rest of the 5% probably makes sense too. I'm probably just reading it a different way than which she's presenting it. Okay, so I'm over the ignorance in this country. But I will get to that in a minute. First, I'm going to go ahead and try one of these, and I'll try to talk to you guys until this kicks in. It's 5 and something in the morning. I shouldn't even be up. This election is killing me. I understand I shouldn't let it control me and consume me so much. But on the other side, like my friend said, this is really important now. We got shoremen that is on strike now, and they control all of our processes. She made it so uncomfortable for them to manage and continue to supply us with things by hiking that inflation up so high. This is an event that hasn't happened since 1977. This is crazy. This is crazy. This man got in that office with her and he broke our economy. He broke this country down for 3.5 years. And then we're acting like we're undecided of who to put in there. What is the decision? Oh, let me guess. Because you got petty. You're believing in the MSNBC reporters. Oh, let me guess. You're watching The View. You're watching all these weird liberals that are insane. The things I'm going to play in this video is disgusting. It's so disgusting that these people should be sued. They should be sued. What you're going to see in the videos I present is going to be slander. It's going to be a misrepresentation of statements made by Republican politicians. It's a consistent misrepresentation. I'm so upset I can't even talk. But they misrepresent everything. They really do. They lie. They twist things around. They slander people. It's awful. It really is. So I don't know. There's so much corruption going on within the Democratic Party that it's scary. It's really scary. It is. It's so then the most scary part about it is how many supporters they still have throughout all these clear lies. You can clearly tell they're like forming a cult. It's a cult. And they want to quiet and shush up all the Republicans because all of us are racist. Anybody that believes in the rights over wrong and the non-bias of this whole thing, we are racist and we're wrong because we're trying to speak. That's non-constitutional to not allow people to have the freedom of speech. Wow, I've never seen nothing like this. I'm lost for words. If you guys hear me stammer, first and foremost, it's like I got a slight speech impediment because my dad, I don't know why that man slurs so bad, okay? Secondly, but I'm really well spoken at the same time. I get to the point, and this is just, I'm baffled. I don't believe what I'm seeing. I really don't, but I believe it though. But it's like, this is my fault for not researching all of these things years prior to now, prior years to now. I can't even say it. I'm saying it backwards. Anyway, this is what these look like. They're really cute. They look like little buttons. Yep, and this is the super sour raz apple. It's a hybrid. I think it only got like God, this got me so upset. They only got like 9.96 milligrams in it per one of these. I'm like, damn, man, can we catch a damn break with all of this live? Okay. So I'll go in the lives next. I'm gonna start with the debate between JD Vance and Tim Walz. It's a shame because this debate was better than the presidential debate between Kamala and Trump. Damn, that's good. I like that flavor. That's the best one I ever taste flavor wise. I say it was better because it was more of a collaboration of thoughts. They weren't too proud to admit where they agreed on each other, whether it was fake or not. At least they tried. At least they tried to be like fair to each other, even though it was extremely fake. It really was. Because let's be real here. Vance did the right thing. He was being the better man. But at the same time, he knew that Walz was lying his teeth off, and it was terrible. There was nothing really he can do but just keep fact checking him and getting back at him, going back at him the rational, appropriate, adult, effective way. Okay. So I think JD Vance was really amazing and successful. I could really see him as a president. They both went around things that they know that they had to hide, and that's just what politicians do. Vance got around the whole thing about January 6th as best as he could. I don't even think that should have been brought up, really, because if we should bring that up, if we can bring that up, I feel like we should bring up how she let all those kids and people get murdered, raped, and kids being missing, that Homeland Security lost due to that border being wide open. We should discuss that. Okay, so we want to discuss who that died. And then here's the difference between Trump's January 6th incident and that whole border open. Why she bragged about keeping that border open. This was a plan she had even before getting in as a vice president. Okay, she bragged about it, she boasted about it, she was proud of it in various videos. So she deliberately didn't even care. She didn't care if people got murdered. Makes me think, did she want them to? Really, she should be getting charged, her and Biden, because the maliciously and negligently leave that border wide open like that. And then you fly in all them people, so that way it would, if you would like, you would rewire, manipulate the census of how many of them came over. She manipulated it by using that clause about the total protection. If you notice, the moderators made sure they shut JD Vance up when he started wanting to get into that. He was about to explain all of it. And I think that was kind of rude and it was kind of biased. They should just let him finish it because they need to be exposed. So they keep protecting those Democrats on these different channels, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. You know what I mean? Shows like The View. They keep trying to protect all their malicious and demonic activities against Republicans. Why couldn't he have the freedom of speech to explain the true thing of what's happening to us right now? This is what is happening in Charleroi. This is what is happening in Springfield, Ohio. This is what happened in Aurora, Colorado. This is what happened in Chicago, Illinois, and Indiana, Indianapolis. They're everywhere, migrants. They're just popping up. And it was not all because they got over the border illegally. It was because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden flew them over due to a clause that was in the Constitution. And it was approved, but no one was really trying to use that flaw. So that's when they formulated this total protection plan. And JD Vance called it a different name. He, of course, has way more knowledge than me. I mean, look at him, look at me. I'm just saying he was about to explain all of it, how they're giving them all that money. And you can tell Vance was so scared. He was hoping and praying they shut him up. That was wrong. They muted his mic. All he needed was a minute or two just to explain what this program consists of and why we are in a jeopardy if this program continues. If they continue that program, more and more migrants are going to come. There's already too many of them. You heard how many he said is here, an estimation. Then he said between 20 to 25 million. Do you know how many people that is and how many are unaccounted for? How many with murderers and rapists? This is unacceptable. And by her doing that with that border, that was breaching the constitutional right. It was, because it was like not protected within the Department of Safety. It was like not protecting us. She said in one of her speeches that we all should have safety, right? That's what she said. All of us are entitled to safety. Well, how did you protect us? You did nothing to protect us in any kind of way. Oh my God, like I be trying to calm down when I hear all their lies. They'll just keep lying and lying and lying and lying and lying. Like the lies never stop with them Democrats. I don't know where I was all these previous years. I was just in the clouds like Charlemagne the God. I was just in the clouds as Ricky Smiley. And I don't know where the hell he is. He's really far out. I mean, people need to wake up. Robert De Niro, Madonna. There's so many people. Like, I don't even care if you're a celebrity. It's about which right is right and which wrong is wrong. And they are wrong. They are the threat to democracy. They are creating a lot of racism and bias and negativity within our whole being. Everything that comes out of their mouth is something racial. Rachel, oh, well, he did this to us because it was racial. Oh, well, that's he's racist because he did this. And they don't have nothing to support their findings. They just go off of what their feelings are and what their beliefs. That's not how it works. If you're going to state something, support it. Support what you're stating. You have no solid, concrete evidence of anything you're saying. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. I made notes too because I'm trying to be prepared for everything I wanted to discuss. So my overall thoughts of the debate is that I feel like CBS was still way more fair than ABC for the presidential one because at least they did fact check Waltz. They asked him about the China thing. At least they were trying to at least pretend to be fair, but you still can kind of sense a little bit of bias. And I mean, according to Megyn Kelly, she said she felt there was a lot of bias. And it was another analyst that was on one of her videos that said, I'm not a specialist in this. I'm just learning. I'm just going based off of what I visually saw and fairness. I feel like they should have let JD Vance explain that whole program now. I feel at least if they would have did that, that would have been completely fair because that would have been getting to the root of what's happening in this country. Why Springfield saw that influx of people? Why the numbers isn't lining up? So there's more people here that this that the Department of Justice and the Border Patrol, the U.S. Homeland Security doesn't have a record of because she flew them over here. And just like he said, you get on that app and you apply in your country. She sought these people out. And she gave them all of the money that could have been given to us. I don't know where people is. Do your due diligence. Everyone knows about this now. But I think it was August when I learned about it. I'm pretty sure it was. I would have to go back and look like when I first start being outraged about it all. All right, so I'm trying to think of what all, is there anything else I'm missing about that debate? I know Waltz was looking really scared at various times writing them notes. It was really pathetic. I did see JD Vance make a little notes. But like nothing like you can tell he was way more confident in the way he presented himself. I think he's an effective leader. He's very handsome too. I've been said that like weeks ago. I said, this man is fine. But what I didn't get is that he's a Leo. And so that's pretty much why I would be attracted to him. And then on top of that, that's why he's an amazing speaker. Because Barack Obama was an amazing speaker. President Clinton, Bill Clinton was a Leo. He was an amazing speaker. We take control. We really do. And it makes me so mad at myself because I feel like I could have did more in life because I'm a quick learner. I might sound hood. I might come with a little bit of hood policies about me and a little bit of antics, sort of like Trump is. We're rough around the edges. We get to the point we might come out ruthless out our mouth, but it's just because we're a realist. Trump is a realist. That's why he shouts out things like that. That's why he comes down harder than other people. He's old school and he's a realist. And people, that's one thing I will say about society that they never did well is that they never accept facts. People do not like the truth. People run from the truth. And it's very demonic. And it's like, it shows a lot about your character. It shows you're not true to self. And you can't live in an actual factual world. You're not in reality. Because everything that Trump has been saying, I can support all of it. It's a reality. Majority of what he's saying, she said out of her own mouth. So it's ridiculous. It really is. I feel like I'm reading my notes now because I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'm trying to think if I should. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start playing the clips for you guys, and then I'm going to get to these last two parts about my overall thoughts of all of it. But I want you guys to see something in each of these videos I'm going to play for you. Some might be a little bit longer than other because I want you to see certain things. And it might take a while. And some I'm just going to try to get through because I want you to see what they all have in common. That's what I want you to see. If you can figure out what they all have in common, then that means that you should be able to wake up and see, like, this is wrong for those that's not understanding it. There's a lot of people that it has enough common sense to see that what's going on now is an injustice. It's wrong. And it's non-constitutional. And it's very scary, to say the least. Everything that's happening from the Democratic Party to the Republicans, it's terrifying, y'all. It really is, and it shouldn't be allowed. All right, so I'm trying to get to, I think I'm going to go to this video first. I'm just going to skip through because it's pretty long. All right, so let me see. I got to get back to my screen. It's a lot, you guys. Like, I'm so sorry that I'll be stammering on things I'm saying. I'm so tongue-tied. So this is scary, that. I've never seen nothing like this in my whole, like, 42 years of living. I've never seen nothing this corrupt, but it was also because I haven't been paying attention. And that's not a good thing. That's being politically ignorant. And that's like not caring about what could potentially be a hazard to your being and your society. It's about caring about everyone as a whole, as well as caring about yourself and your children. That's what it's about. I'm probably going to have to get my charger, but this is my homie Larry. I really like him. He does really good research on everything. He's been an advocate for Republicans for years. I think he always had been a Republican, but he makes really good claims as to why. He makes everything really comical but factual. So it makes you crack up because you're like, wow, this dude is so real. Like, he gets to the heart of all of it, and it's straight up truth. You cannot deny the things that this man is saying. What else? There's so much I like about Larry. It would take me forever to go on and on and on, but I want you guys to watch him.
More evidence that liberals and Democrats are panicking right now over this election. I want to know the proof. Well, they're trying to inject race into this election. We're going to show you all the evidence coming straight from, well, the racial swamp of MSNBC. Plus, Karine Jean-Pierre, very defensive about that ICE report showing that Biden and Harris have let criminals into this country. She goes at it with Peter Doocy, and we'll give you all of those details. Plus, longshoreman strike. Who's to blame? And as this is seen right out of Sopranos, it's ugly, and it's going to get even uglier. And you can blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for it. All that plus transgender operations on illegals. You betcha. Next. Right now, in fact, I'm Larry O'Connor. You can call me Larry. Let me be clear. We're not actually going to perform transgender operations on illegal immigrants. It made it sound, I teased the show, and I made it sound like one of our segments would, in fact, be that of a transgender surgical procedure on an illegal immigrant. And that's not what we're going to do today. Not today. But Kamala Harris would like that, and she wants to use your tax dollars for it, and we're going to explain all of that coming up in just a bit. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Town Hall Media. Catch us across all of our Town Hall sites. That's townhall.com, redstate.com, hotair.com, pjmedia.com, twitchy.com, and bearingarms.com. We've got some really cool websites with great apps and great news available to you, as well as a VIP experience that you're going to love if you want to be one of our Town Hall VIP members. Why don't you just use the code Larry to get 50% off? That gives you an ad-free experience on our sites. It also gives you exclusive VIP-only content, and even better, it helps us continue to do the journalism that we're...
Sorry about that, you guys. I was messing with my screen. I know what I'm doing.
And it's pretty good, if I may say so. It's so good that the higher news outlet, she creates the narrative.
This whole thing is horrible. Like, wait till he gets into this.
And the politicians follow. That's how insidious this has become. Why? Well, here's a good example. Take a look at this lady. See that redhead there on the side of the screen? She's an employee of MSNBC News right now. Where was she a year ago? She was an employee of the White House. That's that revolving door. So she's actually much more effective for Democrats, for Biden, for Kamala Harris, by working at an NBC News outlet. She creates the narrative, and then the campaign picks it up. Yesterday, we showed you how they are panicking right now, and they're upset because Trump is doing very well, especially this close to the election, right? And look at the reaction they had about Black voters moving toward Trump and Latino voters moving toward Trump. Watch this.
This is horrible.
It is calculated, right? I mean, Donald Trump isn't just a doddering fool who happens to be racist. He's a calculated person who is not trying to grow his vote share. He's trying to speak into the id of a particular kind of voter about when he says we have to call out Detroit, Philly, and Atlanta. We have to go into Philly, Detroit, Atlanta. He lost Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan in 2020, which is how he lost the election. It's why he's under indictment.
Okay, pause there. Did you see how aggressive she came out? And she said it's calculating and all of this about things that, again, negative claims about Donald Trump that she has no evidence to support. Now, if it was the other way around, it was anybody that was a Republican saying that the Democrats was calculating and they're doing this and that, you know that we're going to be labeled as racist and hateful and like Hitler. So why do they get to say things that's not even factual, but we can't even tell the truth about things that are factual? That's a threat to democracy, because that's like saying that everything is one-sided. The other party doesn't get a voice. That's scary. How long has this been allowed? Because tell me, because I have not been paying attention. I'm sorry about that.
For attempting to steal those races, what he's telling his voters,
listen what she said. That was a false claim. She said that he was indicted on trying to steal those races. He didn't try to steal no kind of vote. He was claiming that his votes weren't calculated right. It was the reverse. She reversed that whole thing. This woman's very stupid. She's ugly and she's disgusting. She's ugly on the inside and the outside. When who was it? Officer Tatum, he's a Black officer. He was an officer, and he has his own podcast now here on YouTube. He said she's the dumbest woman. Yes, she probably is, because this was so stupid. She sounds so ignorant and nasty and vicious for no reason. If you guys are juicing her on and like egging her on and liking the things she has to say without even doing your research, you're just as ignorant and nasty as she is.
Small, his share of extreme MAGA voters. These Blacks are stealing the election. Black Haitians are violent cannibals. Black people are the enemy. Black people are going to be responsible if and when I lose, and you are permitted through my language to do violence to them if necessary to stop another peaceful transfer of power, because he understands that he is not winning the election.
Now, the kind of hateful lies that you just saw over on MSNBC can't even be calculated. I mean, we'll begin with the blatant lie that Donald Trump is under indictment for trying to steal elections in Michigan and Pennsylvania. That's not at all what Donald Trump is under indictment for. The indictments are frauds as they are, but that's actually not even the fraudulent reason why he's under indictment. But you just heard Joy Reid say that Donald Trump is threatening violence against Black people in those states if the election doesn't go their way. There's absolutely no indication at all. That's just a complete and total blatant lie. But look at that little peacock in the lower corner there. That's the MSNBC brand. That's the NBC News brand. That's Comcast Universal, publicly traded, by the way, on Wall Street, owning what you just saw from Joy Reid. Hey, you know how bad it is? I'm going to skip to the last 20 seconds of this clip, not in real time. I just want you to look at Jen Psaki's face. Actually, look at Joy Reid's face, too. That's a great freeze on Joy Reid. That's about right, especially with the Barbie doll.
How are you allowed to come up with all of those assumptions and compile all of this hate and lies? You have nothing to support any of these claims. This man said nothing like that. And none of his speeches, and no here's there's, you know how big that would have been if he would have been saying that he's causing hate to Black people, even indirectly. That was never stated. This is scary as hell. This is scary as hell. I understand Black people are always want to be vengeful about how racist white people have been to us over the years and slavery and all of that, but don't do it like this. Don't try to flip everything around to think that you got a hold of things and now you got power, because you're making yourself look really ignorant and nasty. I'm not in support of this at all. And I'm not an advocate of white people. I'm not an advocate of Black people either. I'm not an advocate of anybody that's ignorant. I really don't give a damn what race you are. If you're ignorant and you're maliciously lying, you're disgusting to me. I don't care if you were turquoise, green, yellow. I don't give a damn. This is disgusting and it's unconstitutional. And it's just, oh my God, it's slander. He could sue all of these news stations. He really could. And there should be something that could be done for him about this. It's really awful. It really is. And if he says one little thing, even if it is something that's not really clear, they immediately twist it around and make it racist. That's not good at all. Only people that's bringing race into every little playbook of this whole election and previous elections, it seems like it's that. And I say seems like it because I didn't pay attention to the other elections. I didn't.
Shadow. Ooh. Look at Jen Psaki. Even she knows that this is. Mm-hmm. She knows exactly what kind of bull this is. Look at that face. She can't hide it. She's not that good. You can tell that even she inside is nauseated. She wants to take a bit of a Brillo pad shower after sitting through this. But listen, she's got an election to win. And if that means having Joy Reid, this blatant racist, go on the air and falsely accuse Donald Trump, and let's be real, she's accusing you for supporting Donald Trump of peddling in blatant racism that's trying to rile up violence against Black people in America, well, then that's what Jen Psaki is going to do, because her primary function right now is to try to defeat Donald Trump and Republicans. That's all it means. And if that means having Joy Reid on here to spew this, that's great. I look at this and I get nauseated by it. I get angry by it, but I get motivated by it because this motivates us to continue to work even harder to push back against this and bring the love to this.
Let me tell you something. When I watched this with him, I was so upset. So it upset me even more because this is so ugly. You know, how are you wanting to be the better person, Black people, when you're making yourself look so ugly? This is ugly. You're not ever supposed to just form something on someone that they didn't even specify. How are you speaking on people's thought patterns and their emotions without them even speaking? Oh, wow.
Campaign, love for all Americans, regardless of color, because we see Black and Latino and Asian and white and men and women and old and young people who are all rallying around the Republican ticket right now because we're sick of this. We're so sick of this. I have one other emotion when I see this too, and I want you to have this emotion too. I want you to laugh when you see this. Not just at Joy Reid for being a clown, literally with the clown makeup and the clown hair right now, but laugh at Comcast Universal. I just mentioned them. They're the publicly held corporation that owns this. They actually own this. They paid for this, and they proudly put it out to divide our country. Laugh at Comcast Universal. Laugh at NBC Network. Laugh at NBC News, and granularly laugh at MSNBC, because they can never fire Joy Reid. They are stuck with her. They cannot let her contract expire without renewing it. In fact, they'll be forced to give her a raise when her contract is up. They have already signed her to a primetime deal, knowing that she said homophobic things about gay people back in her time. They already knew that. She lied about that and even triggered an FBI investigation into whether her website was hacked, even though she knew that she had not been hacked. So it was a false report to the FBI. They've allowed all of that to happen. They have let her say anything.
That's scary.
Every single day. In fact, they promoted her from a weekend show to a primetime show, knowing exactly who she is, knowing exactly what she brings to the table, and they've allowed it to happen. They put her on primetime for election night coverage. They are so stuck with her. What can she say at this point to make NBC News say, that's it, we're done with you? You've gone too far. They absolutely can. And if they decided, we're just going to go in a different direction, ratings aren't there, revenue's not good, we're going to have to bring in a different host, Joy Reid and Al Sharpton and every single race hustler on the left, and that's a lot of them, they will be on the front lawn of the CEO of Comcast Universal with bullhorns screaming, no Joy Reid, no peace, no primetime, no peace. They are so stuck with Joy Reid, and it's amazing to watch. So this makes me laugh. It actually makes me laugh at how screwed Comcast Universal is by agreeing to put this woman on the air, knowing that she is a race-baiting, divisive, hateful lunatic. But that's just the tip of the iceberg over there in terms of their panic and in terms of their odious attempt to inject race into this political campaign. Take a look at this. This is a White House correspondent for Politico. In fact, I think he's the president of the White House Correspondents Association, Eugene Daniels. You'll remember him with that magnificent fro. And I'm not being ironic. That's a good-looking fro. He was one of the three journalists from the National Association of Black Journalists, who interviewed Kamala Harris in that incredibly cringe exchange that they had 2 weeks ago. Take a look at this.
He has a hard time running against Vice President Harris because she's a Black woman. You remember, actually, when he would tussle with the women that would ask him questions, our colleagues on the White House beat. Reporters. You know, he held his kind of most angry self for Black women, right? If they asked him a question, he would have the worst things to say about them. So you're seeing that, right?
I can think of three off the top of my head.
And when he talked about Joe Biden got worse, Harris was born like that, right? That's different. That's a dog whistle to folks to say, you know, the white guy just got older and it got worse, but the Black lady was born dumb. That is the kind of thing.
Okay. How do you turn that into that? That's factual. You can clearly tell that Joe Biden probably had a better mindset at one time. He started declining with an age, and he acquired Alzheimer's. So that's true. And Kamala does seem like she struggles mentally with things. And I believe she had a mental illness all her life. If you look back when she was a prosecutor, how she was laughing at effectively locking up single Black mothers, that's a mental issue. That's a crisis. So keep changing your age. I mean, not your age, I'm sorry, your race. And keep changing your accent. That's a problem. That's a problem. This girl had a problem all her life. That has nothing to do with what he said. That she's trying to say that the Black woman always was messed up. Quit bringing color into it and just listen what each person has to say. If they are really racist, it'll show. You ain't got to force it out of nobody. This is disgusting and demeaning and slander. Wow.
Donald Trump is saying it's selling the folks.
Yeah. There you go. This is Donald Trump brings out his most angry self, according to this White House correspondent for Politico, because he's running against a Black woman, right? By the way, this is the roundtable. It's George Conway. Now, I'm
going to be fair. I never heard exactly things he may have said about Black women now. So I'm not going to sit here and say he never said anything that insinuated racism against Black women. I'm not going to say that because I'm ignorant. I didn't know anything. And then watch, I would have to go back, deeply research it all. But you can tell they're digging. They are.
I remember news shows when they first brought on the roundtable concept, where they would have different ideas and different perspectives from journalists or analysts, or maybe former politicians, or even sometimes current politicians. So you could have a roundtable discussion. A roundtable discussion is supposed to bring different perspectives and different ideas to a news topic so that the audience could be informed and enlightened about different perspectives on the news. I'm pretty sure this roundtable on Jen Psaki's show was, please bring your different personal perspective and analysis on just how hateful and racist Donald Trump is. And they're all Trump haters. The entire roundtable was Trump hater. Usually they'd have the token conservative, the token Republican, right? Like on CNN, they're still using Scott Jennings, and he still defeats everybody at the table. By the way, this guy who's the White House correspondent for Politico and the president of the White House Correspondents Association, I believe, should Trump win the election, he'll be a reporter in the room. He'll be a reporter in the White House press room on behalf of Politico, to ask fair and balanced questions on behalf of their readers. It gets worse. Let's keep it on MSNBC, because, boy, they want race riots in this country. Hey, it worked in 2020 with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. But, boy, it's just really tough luck for the Democrats this year that they didn't have a cop kill a Black man. Although there's 5 weeks left, you never know what might happen. They might get lucky. But short of that, they got to figure out a way to get a race riot in. So let's see what.
I don't like the way he worded that, because as a person that is from the hood, it just don't beat my ear right. However, the truth hurts. And that's really the truth. It's like they be looking for any little thing to turn this into a black-white war. They do. As much as I don't want to admit that about Black people do that. I'm sorry.
You have to say.
Do you have that clip, Larry? Hey, Larry, we don't have that clip.
Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry.
If you having technical issues like man. This is sick, right?
Donald Trump got in 2020. So it took historic numbers to beat him. right? And so now we get enamored with the Dick Cheneys and the Liz Cheneys and the Flakes and the da-da-da-da, right? And this man is running around here busting his chops, scaring the hell out of communities, right? And we're trying to figure out how to keep that middle, locked in on her when she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous to particular people. And the history of the country is such that we can't play fast and loose with it. Isn't
it incumbent on all of us to protect the people who are endangered by him?
But you never have. That's the rub. You never have. And so part of what we have to do in the midst of this is to engage in a deep-seated political calculus, right? Even though we know that she has to get the middle, we got to come out and try to figure out how to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, our babies are going to be in danger. Because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of having to not go to school for the threat of bombs. And somebody told them that their moms and dads eat cats. They eat cats and dogs.
He's a sellout. He's a sellout to this Democratic bullshit cult shit. Here's why. He said our babies are going to be safe. How? How did Trump endanger our babies from 2016 to 2020 or 2017 to 2021? Did he endanger your baby? Because I know my babies was fine and happy. Okay. Again, that was a lie. Okay. So they're reversing everything. Meanwhile, she directly put us in danger when she made that decision to leave that border wide open. Do you know how horrible this is that they're flipping this all around? People's children was repeatedly raped, sold into prostitution, murdered during the Biden-Harris administration. How could he fix his lips to dare say what he just said? All right.
I'll get myself together, Claire.
Okay, take a minute. Deep breath.
Well, what about that?
I understand what you're saying.
He's going to cry. He was close to tears on that one.
That's wild.
We have to protect our babies. He's a troglodyte. Again, drumming up the hate, dividing over racial lines.
Yeah,
I think my favorite part there is when Nicole Wallace, the Republican at this panel, said that,
now hearing all these things, if there is crazy people out there that's not being paid to do what they do to Trump, why wouldn't they want to do it after hearing all these negative things about him? And that's a really good question. Why wouldn't somebody want to harm him? They're telling the society to harm him because he's dangerous and he's racist. He's Hitler.
not just Black people who are supposed to protect the most vulnerable people of color. Isn't it incumbent on all of us?
We can't play fast and loose with it. Fast and loose with it.
Isn't it incumbent on all of us to protect the people who are endangered by him?
But you never have.
Look at the white guilt. That's the face of white guilt. Look at that white guilt. And she's not allowed to say, well, wait a second. You don't know anything about me. You don't know that. No. See, he just indicted her because of her skin color. She's white. And also she used to be a Republican. I think she still claims to be a Republican, which is just delightful. And look at how she can't say a damn thing. Here's the Black man sitting at this panel, injecting race into this conversation and making the entire presidential race about racial politics, because again, they're terrified at the numbers that are.
See, I know what Black people are doing, and they're being ignorant about it. They're not seeing the whole vision of it. They feel that this is the get back. Starting with Barack Obama, this is the get back. Let's reverse heads. Let's put them through alternatives. Let's call them racist. Let's put them through hell the way we went through hell through slavery. Okay, I understand all of that, but that's holding on to grudges about something that there's nothing we can do about. That happened to our ancestors. So much has happened since then. That's number one. Number two, even if you're always going to be harboring it, which is kind of hard not to at times, because white people are really nasty, a good bit of them. And I've come across some real nasty racist white people in my time. So I'm not going to sit here and excuse white people. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not saying all of that, y'all. I'm not. What I'm saying is they feel this is the get back on white people. Okay, but what if it fails? What if it fails? Because this is about to be a fail, all because they're trying to be hard and get back. This woman is a failure. and a psychopath. Because anytime you let all them people come over here like that, you have no kind of remorse. You unburden yourself of what could be that hasn't been. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, like I said in my previous years. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's basically what she said when she says I unburden stuff. She said, I messed up. I got a couple people killed, but I'm going to unburden myself for what has been, for what can be. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Anyway, this is wrong. This is wrong. She broke our economy. This ain't time to be getting back. This is the time to be getting right. And the only person who's going to get us right is Donald J. Trump. He showed it to us from 2017 to 2021. Okay, stop being ignorant and hood and listen to me as a hood person. Wake up.
And right now, Black people, this, by the way, this is a great moment of white guilt and white shaming the white women at this table. But the message, just so you know, the message from this man is for Black voters.
How many years have white people shamed us, y'all? How many years have white men shame Black women? It still happens now. So why would we not think Black people are trying to get back? But this ain't the time to be doing. First of all, y'all should just leave it alone and live y'all life. Yeah, and just deal with the racist people that's doing this work. You're going to come across racist white people, Hispanics. That has Hispanics be very racist, to be Asians. You know what I mean? Japanese, white, Black, every race can be racist. There's nothing we can do about that. It definitely ain't saying go in with a lynch mob that wants tampons in men's restrooms and wants to give every illegal migrant a sex change. That's not the way to get back. That's the way to fell us off. So please, again, wake up. Thank you.
He's angry at Black voters right now, especially Black men, because Black men are voting for Trump in numbers that they've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And so he's trying to bring those voters back by trying to make them feel guilty. The funny thing is, though, they're not the putty in his hands like these white liberals are at this table. So listen to the end. Listen to the silence here. When she says, well, aren't we all supposed to protect the people who are endangered by Donald Trump? Endangered by Donald Trump. And he says, you never have. And then the white guilt on that. Look at the white guilt on that.
That's the rub. You never have.
Look at them all. They can't respond. They're not allowed to respond. And right inside, they are flagellating themselves delightfully. They love it over their own white guilt. You know, when everyone talks about how this election is going to come down to white suburban moms, that's who's sitting at that table. That's who's sitting at that table. And they are powerless against that kind of accusation. That is the most manipulative, mean-spirited, obnoxious, disgusting thing I've seen somebody do on cable news, but I'm not surprised. It's MSNBC and he's a liberal. But this is the conversation going on over there. I know you don't watch. I don't want you to watch. I want you to come here, so I watch it for you and I tell you what happened. Really that's the Black versus white racial politics that they injected. But they didn't end there on MSNBC. I told you yesterday about the polls showing Latino voters swinging over in huge numbers to Donald Trump. So we had to talk about that racial aspect. We had to inject racism into that discussion. Wait till you hear what this woman says about Latino voters who are voting for Trump.
She has a 14-point lead, but it has been shrinking after each consecutive presidential election from 2016. Right. Why is that? Why is the Democratic share of the Latino vote shrinking?
And what I said to you when we asked the question was, Latinos want to be white. They want to be with the cool kids. They want to be. I'm asking Latinos all the time, and they just say, well, ese Donald Trump es tan buen negociante. He's such a good businessman. It's like,
but this is
with the cool kids.
But they didn't end there on MSNBC. I told you yesterday about the polls showing Latino voters swinging over in huge numbers to Donald Trump. So we had to talk about that racial aspect. We had to inject racism into that discussion. Wait till you hear what this woman says about Latino voters who are voting for Trump.
She has a 14-point lead, but it has been shrinking after each consecutive presidential election from 2016. Right. Why is that? Why is the Democratic share of the Latino vote shrinking?
And what I said to you when we asked the question was, Latinos want to be white. They want to be with the cool kids. They want to be.
Crazy.
I'm asking Latinos all the time, and they just say, well, ese Donald Trump es tan buen negociante. He's such a good businessman. It's like, no, he's not. He had bankruptcies. But they don't want to be identified.
See, y'all, what y'all fail to realize, it ain't even about what color you are in Democrat. You can be any color and be very ignorant like her. To say that, I mean, regardless of what her beliefs are, that's what her beliefs are. It was very unprofessional to come on national TV and say, because Latinos just want to be white. They want to be the cool kids. So that's your only reasoning as to why you believe they would vote for Trump. Don't lie, ma'am. So, like, majority of them Latinos are voting because they know President Trump was better for the economy. They're very smart. Majority of all the Hispanics I was seeing being interviewed was saying this. It was only some that like the migrated over here recently and they heard all the media about Donald Trump. They don't know what's really happening. But majority of the Latinos, they smarter than the Black people in this election. I will say that. I give it the Hispanic group has been smarter. Only because there's more of a divide with Black people that refuse to see Kamala for what she is and refuse to not vote with emotion. So I don't know, but all of this racism, this don't need to be. If Republicans tried this, oh, no, it would not work.
With all of those other immigrants that Donald Trump speaks so badly of, including me as a Mexican immigrant. So they're like, let's be with him. But those numbers, they could cost Kamala Harris the election.
Good.
Everything that I've been saying that Latinos could push her over the top, these are the numbers that could also take her down.
And now she's right about that last part, that these numbers are an existential threat to Kamala Harris. That's why you're seeing this narrative on MSNBC in the last 24 hours. It's almost like they watched our show yesterday and panicked. But did you catch that? What's the deal? Why are these Latino voters voting this way? And the only explanation is because they want to be white.
Arva, that was horrible. I don't want to keep playing. I'm about to skip it because this is like an hour, 20 minutes long. We're 19 minutes into it. I don't want to watch the whole video, obviously. But I just want to get to every different thing I want to show you guys. I want you guys to tell me, it's pretty obvious what things was all similar in each clip. And how does it relate to Republicans, et cetera, et cetera. But I shouldn't be up this late, this early. This shit got me mad. Oh my God, they got me. I'm educating myself so hard on it all that it's so much. It's like my brain just keeps going. And I'm just like, this is crazy though, how corrupt of a government we really have. And it's like on TV, they're showing it. And everybody's just going around it, act like it doesn't matter. This is horrible. Anytime you try to mute the other party, the way they're trying to mute Republicans is scary. So they wouldn't stand for that, though. If Republicans were trying to mute them, they wouldn't stand for that. There was something else I had to say. I'll think of it there. Wow.
Again, is there anything more racist than this? They are the most racist people in the room while they're screaming racist at the rest of us. Mm-hmm. One other little tidbit here that I really enjoyed while you're watching.
I got a good comment and I got a new subscriber today. He or she really enjoyed my fuck Kamala video that I took from Loza Alexandra. And but prior to that comment, I had some Democrat Party supporter of Kamala. They wrote a post on my comment of that video. And they say, mixed brain strikes again or something. So they're trying to say, since I'm mixed race, that's why I'm supporting Trump. Look how ignorant that is. And they said Harris 2024. Even if you wanted to be nasty to me, you could have said something that was more, more educational driven. Yeah, you could have said something that was more just common sense, something that made sense. Like you could have tried to challenge me on something I said that Trump did. That would have made sense a little bit more. Okay, but to bring my race into it, as that's why I'm supporting Trump. You just acknowledge that all of you Democrat believers and followers are ignorant as hell, angry racists.
This show, MSNBC, look in the lower right-hand corner there. Let's blow that up as big as we can. In fact, here, let me do this for you. They, you're not going to, hang on. It won't let me zoom in on that. While you're watching this racism play out on MSNBC, they're promoting later today our primetime racism special, Black Women in America, The Road to 2024. With, by the way, Simone Sanders. See the closely cropped hair Black woman there who's going to host it, Who's Simone Sanders? Well, she used to be a spokesperson for the Bernie Sanders campaign during the 2020 election. And then she got a job in Kamala Harris's comms department when Kamala Harris became vice president. Now, like most people who worked for Kamala Harris, she left within a year because only 92% of the people who worked for Kamala Harris in the last 3.5 years left. She's got 8% of her staff remaining. But needless to say, once again, like Jen Psaki, like George Stephanopoulos, like Jake Tapper, like Chuck Todd, like Jim Sciutto, like, oh gosh, I just can't list all of them. They all used to work for Democrats, politicians, and now they work in the media because they're journalists, don't you know? And the entire program tonight at 9 p.m. on MSNBC is Black Women in America, Road to 2024.
I like his findings. He said 92% of her staff was, you know what I mean, separated from her, working for her, underneath her. Okay, that's cool and all, but again, provide your facts. Not saying that he's wrong, because I trust him. I trust the things that he researches, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes providing facts really supports it. It makes it more believable to people that still want to support her. For me, I believe it all, because you can look at that woman and tell she has so many issues. So many issues that she lies so badly. She's a horrible liar. So I believe everything. But I'm just saying it's best to like show things and show you have factual evidence to support your claims on each side. I'm just a fair person.
They're absolutely desperate, and they're scared, and they're angry. And we're 5 weeks out, and they're lashing out at you. They're lashing out at all of us. They're lashing out at anyone who isn't going to stay on the reservation. Some would say stay on the plantation and vote the way they demand they vote.
Listen to that. He's right.
Hang on. It's going to be a rocky 35 days. With the massive tax hikes proposed by Kamala Harris right now, and we're talking an almost 40% top income tax rate, 7% increase to the corporate tax, capital gains tax on unrealized gains, and the fact that her proposals could add almost $2 trillion. About it, most specifically, Karine Jean-Pierre. And of course, the only questions came from the only person.
Now, in this video, where this Jean-Pierre chick, which you do know what that means, right? She's Haitian. For people that don't know, she's Haitian. But Jean-Pierre, that's saying you can look at her and tell she's Haitian. She's very biased to a lot that's going on. Of course, she's going to support any lie that she has. So she was clearly lying in this video, but the findings from the Department of Homeland Security are factual. She was trying to dismiss their findings in the border control. What would make them, why would they lie about that? Yeah, this Democratic Party is really corrupt. It's scaring me to death. Like, wow.
Interested in asking real questions in that room. Peter Doocy. Watch this.
15,000 people who have been convicted of murder cross the border illegally and are living among us. So how much danger are U.S. communities in right now because of this?
I'm assuming you're talking about the ICE data.
Yes.
So just a couple of things, and I think it's important to correct the record here. First of all, the false representation of the data ICE shared. So that was what we're seeing, false representation. I got to call that out. We got to call that out. And it's been fact checked by some of your colleagues here, by multiple outlets that has been debunked on what has been falsely misrepresented here. So we have to call that out. And so, look,
can you clarify what the misrepresentation is?
The numbers that is being put out about how many.
Let me hang on. I'm gonna let you finish there, Karine Jean-Pierre, but this is an important thing. So Peter Doocy asked a good question. ICE report came out, showed the data. Hundreds of thousands of convicted criminals here in America that were left free to roam our streets, including over 10,000 murderers, about 10,000 rapists. Are American streets safe? And for the first minute of this answer is like, oh, that's been fact checked. The data was misrepresented. You guys are spewing lies, blah, 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 blah. And Peter Doocy's follow-up is a very important one. Can you explain how it's been misrepresented? Please clear the record. I mean, in fact, why didn't she just do that at the beginning? Oh, thank you for the opportunity, Peter, because this information has been misreported. Here are the facts, right? But instead, we got to spend a minute slamming Fox News, slamming, right of center media, anybody who's not a corporate shill for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats. We got to attack them. All right, fine. So Peter Doocy follows up. Please take this opportunity, educate us, fix the problem, get the truth out. You've got this platform. Look at your podium. Look at your very smart fuchsia suit. Everyone is hanging on your every word. Please now clear the record. So here's Karine Jean-Pierre taking advantage of this opportunity. She's going to clear the record and explain how that ICE data has been misrepresented. Let's watch, shall we? In fact, if you can, take notes, because this is really compelling stuff. Here we go. I can't wait to be educated. I can't wait to hear the truth about this.
The numbers that is being put out about how many people are out has been falsely represented here. If you look at the total returns and removal of the
every time she lies, she huffs a little bit. She shows aggression. You can tell, because Haitian women, some of them get real mean. Because I know from being around Haitian women in Fort Lauderdale and all of that. So I can say shit like this. But anyway, she's hot tempered. She should not be reflecting that. We can say all of that, but we would be racist for Republicans. Or we'd be sellouts and all this ignorant shit just because we're trying to say something that's factual. She does huff. And then she leans to the left. This is my right, because I'm on the opposite that she is. But yeah, she leans to the left and she just starts lying and popping that attitude. There's no coincidence. Every time she lies, she's did this lean to the side thing several times. And you guys can see she huffs. I could even replay it and let you guys see how she just huffs. She gets nasty.
Yes, a good question. The ICE report came out, showed the data. Hundreds of thousands of convicted criminals here in America that were left free to roam our streets, including over 10,000 murderers, about 10,000 rapists. Are American streets safe? And for the first minute of this answer, it was like, oh, that's been fact checked. The data was misrepresented. You guys are spewing lies, blah, 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 blah. And Peter Doocy's follow-up is a very important one. Can you explain how it's been misrepresented? Please clear the record. I mean, in fact, why didn't she just do that at the beginning? Oh, thank you for the opportunity, Peter, because this information has been misreported. Here are the facts, right? But instead, we got to spend a minute slamming Fox News, slamming, right of center media, anybody who's not a corporate shill for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats. We got to attack them. All right, fine. So Peter Doocy follows up. Please take this opportunity. Educate us, fix the problem, get the truth out. You've got this platform. Look at your podium. Look at your very smart fuchsia suit. Everyone is hanging on your every word. Please now clear the record. So here's Karine Jean-Pierre taking advantage of this opportunity. She's going to clear the record and explain how that ICE data has been misrepresented. Let's watch, shall we? In fact, if you can, take notes, because this is really compelling stuff. Here we go. I can't wait to be educated. I can't wait to hear the truth about this.
The numbers that is being put out about how many people are out has been falsely represented here. If you look at the total returns and removal of the past year, that has been higher than every year under the previous administration since 2010, if you look at it. And if we're going to report something, a data that's out there, we got to do it in a way that is not confusing the American people and certainly not lying. And so this has been fact checked. And so this is the way that is being falsely represented here is just not okay. And they'll got to be really clear about that.
Wow, you were incredibly clear about that. That cleared everything up, didn't it? It's not confusing in the slightest. The issue was that there's data being released by ICE in response to a senator's request about the criminal records of those that have been released in this country after being encountered by Border Patrol agents. Over 400,000 that are in this country have criminal convictions from their home countries, including over 10,000 for murder and about 10,000 for sexual assault. Karine Jean-Pierre claims that it was all misrepresented. So let's watch it again. This is her clearing that up. And again, see, if I'm her, and that data was misrepresented, I would say this. You guys said 13,000 convicted murderers here, but that's not true. Here's how many there are. You said there were 10,000 rapists here in the country that were released, but that's not true. Here's the facts. Here's the truth. Here's the data. She didn't do that when she cleared this up, when she explained what had been misrepresented. Once again, here's your White House press secretary taking advantage of the opportunity to call out the misrepresentation and give us the actual truth about this report. Okay, let's watch together so that we can actually get the truth.
And so, look,
Can you clarify what the misrepresentation is?
There it is. Look at that.
the numbers that is being put out about how many people are out has been falsely represented here. If you look at the total returns and removal of the past year.
Total returns and the removals of the past year.
That has been higher than every year.
That has been, I think she means have been, higher than every year.
Under the previous administration since 2010.
So the removals and returns over the past year have been higher than any administration since 2010. Okay, we're with you. Can you get to the part about the convicted felons and criminals and murderers?
Much as I like him, I don't really like how he called out the way she was supposed to have said have been, because that could have been like a racial little throwback. I peep everything from everybody, you guys. I'm not trying to sound racist. I'm not trying to sound like a Democrat here. I'm just saying I pay attention to things, to detail. So that kind of sounded a little bit that could meet Black people's ear the wrong way. It really could, legitimately, like for real.
Who have been left in the country. Can you get to that part, please? Because I think that's what the question was really all about.
If you look at it, and if we're going to report something, a data that's out there, we got to do it in a way that is not confusing the American people and certainly not lying.
Personally, I believe we meant it as an academic issue, like an academic defect that she has, because she does. All these people are not suitable to be in a position in the roles that they're in. And that's probably where he was going with it. But a liberal could have easily went with my original theory, because I know how liberals think. I grew up in a city that was built upon Democrats. You know what I mean? We were all told we were sellouts if we didn't vote blue. You know what I mean? It was just something like that. People in our neighborhood, and I know that. But again, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And the way they're trying to manipulate people to vote for them and then don't do nothing for us. And oh my God. I can't even say it all so much. They cater to migrants' needs and everyone's needs before ours. That's unacceptable. That is not right. I've never really seen a Republican do that. To be really honest with you, that's real that. You never hardly see Republicans that put citizens last. No. That's why it seems like every time they're in, this is legit. I told y'all. It's just like, I do better. Soon them Democrats get this. Oh, but it's like they deliberately don't do nothing for us. And it's like to mass manipulate our mind. Like say that y'all supposed to vote for us or y'all sellouts. It's like they're trying to make us guilty to do the wrong thing for our economy. They're capitalizing off of our mistakes. That's what they're doing. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody from a person from the hood with peanuts in my teeth right now. Yo, like, don't vote for her. If y'all want to vote for Trump, that's cool. I mean, that's not cool because y'all really should want to vote for him even harder now because he's all we got. He's all we have. Without him, we are going to be fucked up. The fucking shoremen, they went on strike. Do you know how bad this is going to be for us? Like, yo, educate yourself.
Oh, and there's nothing confusing about that. And certainly no lies involved there. I don't know about you, but I'm not satisfied with Karine Jean-Pierre's explanation as to why this is misrepresented. So I've got an idea. Let's go to the data itself. Here's the letter. It was Congressman, I'm sorry, I said Senator. It was Congressman Tony Gonzalez who had originally asked for this information. This is, by the way, I do like the fact that it says, I apologize for the delay. I wonder how long this delay really was. This has to do with responding in the first couple of paragraphs says, we love Congress and we love transparency and we love answering your questions via oversight. Yeah, they don't. Your letter requests the number of non-citizens on ICE's docket convicted or charged with a crime. As of July 21st, 2024, there were 662,000 non-citizens with criminal histories in ICE's national docket, including those detained by ICE and an agency's non-ticketed docket. Of those, 435,719 are convicted criminals. Now, I'm sure somewhere in there, I've just misrepresented the facts because I did something really sneaky and deceitful. I just read directly from the letter delivered by ICE. ICE, by the way, which is an agency under the control of the Biden administration. I read you exactly what the letter says. I'm sure I'm going to be accused of misrepresenting something. By the way, they also put together this very useful table. And this is public information. You can get it anywhere. Check social media. National docket data for non-citizens by criminality and most serious charge category. It's in alphabetical order, so you'd be surprised. Being convicted of an antitrust violation, there's only one of them. Imagine that guy. You know, why'd you have to include in my antitrust conviction? Come on. But we got arson, we got assault, 42,000. Commercialized sexual offenses, 17,700, convicted criminal, 2,200. What is a commercialized sexual offense? Is that where in the middle of the sexual offense you stop for a paid endorsement or something? What is it? Did Nike sponsor it? Dangerous drugs, 56,000. Family offenses, 6,400. Oh, look, they couldn't fit them all on one page. Fraudulent.
I'm gonna skip ahead.
But today's world,
the president of the Shoreman.
It's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men. Because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus.
Basically, his name is Harold, and he's the president of the shoremen that went on strike. Man, I said shoreman, shoreland. Like, oh my God, I'm educating myself on all this. I didn't know anything about all of this. Like, I'm learning, you guys. So if I sound ignorant, y'all, I'm learning, but I'm quickly learning. I'm quickly seeing all this corruption within our government, especially on the Democratic side. It's scary. Like, they are corrupt as hell. I'm sorry I'm playing all into this video. I just wanted y'all to see a lot of it. But if you guys want to watch the rest of it, this man is hilarious. He tells exactly why he went on strike. He's pissed. Biden administration really failed us. This is going to cause a lot of conflict if he don't mediate the situation, Biden, well, AKA Kamala, because that's who's taking charge of it. I already made this video so long. I really want to show y'all this other one. It was from Officer Tatum. Oh my God. I don't even know if I can rewatch it, but basically it was a clip of The View. Whoopi Goldberg was going in on Trump, and she was sounding so ignorant and nasty. Like, it was mad. Oh my God. If you guys watch The View, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't watch that shit. Never did. I thought it was corny. I know I didn't even watch it like when Tamar was on it, because wasn't Tamar on it at one point? Like, nah, man, like, I don't do stuff like that. I don't do all that daytime stuff. I haven't watched soap operas since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So, but like, nah, man, like these Democrats are weird as hell, man. Don't y'all see? They like a cult. They're weird as hell. Like, it's the weirdest people. And then they have no reason. And they have no rational reason as to why they even want to support a Democrat. Oh, we're pro-rights. And okay, but how are you gonna be pro-right when you're gonna be in a recession? Who's gonna be thinking about being pro-right when you're gonna be in a recession and you wanna be barely able to live in your own country because migrants is taking over your country and taking over all your money? So you really think that we should prioritize pro-life prior to not having no money, no economy going for us? This could displace families, everything. This is going to demolish the whole network, the whole government, like our whole system, our ecosystem of money, how it goes in and out, everything. God, our dollar's going to be worth less. The value of our money is going to be worth less too. Like all it's going to be, this Biden and Harris, like he said, they're equal to the Jimmy Carter era. I didn't know all of this. See, I didn't know. My mom told me a little bit about Jimmy Carter. I was not here. I was not born. So like, oh my God, y'all. Woo! I'm just going to include all the links I want you guys to see. I should have been stopped sharing. I'm a little bit tired, but I know I got to get right back up because I got something to do in a couple of hours. Like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have stayed up. Yeah, this is bad. I stayed up too long. But y'all, like, this ain't good. Like, this is trash the way they dogging my boy. This ain't it. I know about getting back and all of this, but that's ignorant. We were really ignorant as Black people to like think like that. Like you ain't ever supposed to put your well-being economically before some like an ego or anger or previous rage, because all you want to do is hurt us more. By inviting these evil demons into our life and keeping them in our office, I'm telling you that we're fucked if she gets in that office. And that's all I can say. I hate that I cursed. I didn't even mean to curse. Oh my God, I just cursed too much. Oh Lord. I really do want to clean up my act because I want to get prepped for when I make my other channel and stuff. Like I want to be more clean. I'm just, woo. Totally, you don't listen to them. That's all I can keep saying. There's no other way I can say it. I'm probably leaving stuff out. I'm still really outraged. The edible really calmed me down, thankfully. But I'm just going to end with this because I said that I was going to make this statement. And I don't care what people think, whatever. What you just saw in that video was extreme bias, and it's completely, basically, the Democrats like obliterating diplomacy in our country, and then they're reversing it and saying that this man is a threat to diplomacy, but or democracy, diplomacy, whatever. And how so? How so? When he did everything to aid us, he did the best that he could, and he did better than so many other presidents. Like having them, the View, when you watch that clip, what I include with Oprah, I mean, not Oprah, I always call Whoopi Oprah, my bad. Whoopi, like, y'all, like, nah, it's wrong. Like the way she be going in on him, and that she has no kind of evidence to support her claim. Like you could just tell she's just speaking with emotion. Like she put all this built up hate toward him, but why? What did he do but really help us though? That's like, it's really unappreciative. It's ungrateful. A lot of Americans are very ungrateful though, regardless of race. A lot of Americans are very ungrateful. We're some of the most ungrateful people. We really are, because we take things for granted a lot. And we took Trump for granted. We did, because he had the economy doing so well. Like, oh my God, the gas was cheaper. Everything just felt so much better. It felt so, but to be 2019, or no, I'm sorry, 2017 through 2021, that was the best 4 years within our economy. Since I don't know when, because I haven't done my research to go back that far. So it's just like, oh, wow, y'all, the disrespect, the way he's being crucified and demonized within the media, it's not fair. It's like everybody's gangbanging him for no reason. And it's like people need to just stop crucifying him. And all I can say is that strong apologies to Mr. Trump. And I do appreciate your service, because I appreciate everything that you've done for this country. I appreciate all the people that you mentored and inspired to do better. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the advice that you kept giving different interviewers back in the 1970s and the 1980s. You gave them the same rock solid plan, and it could have worked years ago. It could have worked decades ago if people would have just listened to you. So I respect all of that about you. I respect how you keep it real. You know what I mean? These are all the things I would say to him. I respect how you keep it real. You don't give up. You don't back down, no matter how people view you. That's a real person. A real person doesn't change. They don't change. Once they're solid on something, they're solid on it. So, but one thing I will say about him, and he showed after all of this thing, he is trying to get better. At some of his last shows, I noticed he's trying. And for an old school East Coast New York man, I think that's very good. I really do. I appreciate him way more than I appreciate any other politician. because I was doing really good in those 4 years. I will never forget. It was like the best 4 years of my life. And I did not appreciate that until it was gone. It was gone and everything just started just plummeting down when them Democrats got back in. But I'm glad it happened that way because it woke me up. Because I kept not being sure when Barack got it. And I was noticing I was doing worse. But I knew in my heart, you know what I mean? I knew in my gut that it had something to do with Democrats, but I didn't want to fully acknowledge it because I felt like I would be like selling out on what's right, like blackness. I said, you should never have to feel guilty about being, it has nothing to do with being black. It has to do with having common sense. Fuck that being black and white shit. Y'all got to drop that. It's about having this. It's about knowing how to play checkers and chess. It ain't about being stupid, y'all. It isn't. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm just, wow, man. That's all I can say. I'm going to include the links, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. It's very early in the morning. This shit is really stressful. I hope to pray that people or get smarter really quick. That's all I can say. I'm going to keep spreading my videos around and just hoping for the best. I really wish I can get with the Republican Party and see if they will want me to volunteer somewhere in Pittsburgh, because I really feel like I could reach a lot of Pittsburgh people that aren't sure, and a lot of people who that's not educated on what has been done through the Democratic Party. A lot of people that's scared to be viewed as a sellout. You feel what I mean? I can reach people like that because I was that person. I was that person to a certain point, if you feeling what I'm saying. So I'm still that person. I'll call somebody out in a minute if they sound racist, but you got to be fair about it. Because not just white people can be racist. And that's what black people get beside themselves with. All cultures, all races can be racist. So, I don't know. I just know, think with common sense, vote with common sense, breathe with common sense, live by common sense. Common sense always wins the day, y'all. Common sense always wins the day. You never go with something because you feel it's more glitzy and glamorous. It's going to put you with the cool kids and stuff. There's no such thing as being with the cool kids. It's being in your own intellectual spirit and your intellectual being, and by possessing common sense. Because without common sense, this world is a dangerous field. People do really irrational things, like have freak offs, apparently, with all kinds of different celebrities and bribe them and rape them. Okay. So, with that being said, America's not that bright. I've never seen a person that uses their homosexuality to overpower people, to use their homosexuality as a gimmick or a ploy to bribe people. You know what I mean? That dude was a weirdo, and I always knew he was a weirdo, but I'm done, y'all. I'm laughing, but I'm right though. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, click the notification bell for I make new content. Thank you. Send me a comment. Say whatever you want to say. This shit is crazy. I've never lived to see nothing like this. I'm out.